Hello everybody, this is JT Productions and welcome back to another 2023 preview and prediction video. Today I'll be doing the Miami Hurricanes. Let's get into it. Well, we're looking at a dumpster fire here. Miami last year, first year under Mario Cristobal, went 5-7, getting boat raced by Middle Tennessee State, North Carolina, Duke, Florida State, Clemson, Pitt, and Texas A&M, who had just about as bad of an offense as you could see in the country. Not a good year. Their best win probably came against Georgia Tech. They had their 3 ACC wins on the road at Virginia Tech, at Virginia in 4 overtimes with a win there, and at Georgia Tech. So Miami was just not a good team last year. Don't know if it was just internal issues or what. They fired Josh Gaddis, who they had hired for the 2022 season as their offensive coordinator, and they've hired, I forget his name, but they've hired a new offensive coordinator, of course. So let's not even dwell on it. Let's go to the roster. I know that you Miami fans are not wanting to look back at last year. So who comes back? Tyler Van Dyke, quarterback for the last 2 years, give or take. He looked good in 2021, 2022, not so much. Henry Parrish, good running back. Donald Chaney, pretty good running back. You got a Jay Allen, redshirt freshman transfer coming in from Nebraska, who, when I saw him, he looked pretty good. You got Colby Young at wide receiver. Tyler Harrell, who's coming in from Alabama, did not play for the Tide last year, and he's a speedster. You have Xavier Restrepo. He's pretty good wide receiver from what I've seen. And the offensive line, Javion Cohen coming in from Alabama. Good pickup for them. Matt Lee at center coming in from UCF. And you have a freshman projected to be starting in Francis Malagoa. He was a big pickup for them. You also have Zion Nelson, who at tackle as well, who's projected to be a pretty good player in the NFL. So their offense, not looking bad. You also have Elijah Arraro, who's looking to be pretty good. Jalil Skinner, Cam McCormick coming in from Oregon. So would not be surprised if Miami's offense looked 10 times better than last year. On the defensive side, you bring in transfer Branson Dean from Purdue on the D-line. Francisco Malagoa coming in from Washington State to help at linebacker, and Devontae Brown at corner coming in from UCF. Jaden Davis also at corner coming in from Oklahoma will help at the secondary. So besides that, they're looking pretty good on Miami. Defensively, they really just needed some help in the secondary to not get burned like they have the last couple of years. Cameron Kitchens, good safety. Or not the last couple of years, last year. So we'll see if they've rectified that this year. Let's go to the schedule this year and see where I think Miami is going to end up this year. Well, you start the year at home, night game against the other Miami of Ohio. Would not sleep on them like you did Middle Tennessee State, but I do think you get a win. Then you have a big non-con game, the home and home, the second leg of it against Texas A&M at home. Now, Texas A&M, they hire new offensive coordinator, Bobby Petrino. And if they use him at all, let him call plays at all, their offense is going to be much improved. I think Texas A&M's a little too talented to lose this game to Miami. While I do think Miami's going to be improved this early in the year against a very talented Texas A&M team, I think you're going to drop this one. So you're 1-1 before playing Bethune-Cookman and at Temple. I think you win both those games. Temple, not a very good Group of 5 team. They've gotten worse over the past couple of years, ever since Matt Rule left. So I think Miami takes care of business before the bye week and before they play Georgia Tech. Now, Georgia Tech, Brent Key, very physical coach. He wants his guys to be physical. Yeah, I think this is going to be a physical game for Miami, but I do think your talent is going to outweigh Georgia Tech, and I think you get the win here before having a big road game against North Carolina. You have two of the best teams in the ACC projected projected to be two of the best teams in the ACC, back-to-back, at North Carolina and at home against Clemson. I don't think that you win either of these games. This is going to be a very tough stretch for Miami, because after that they play Virginia. Not a tough game, but what it's between is tough. You play Clemson, Virginia, and then at NC State. I think you beat Virginia. I do think you do. I think Tony Elliott, he's a couple of years away from bringing Virginia back from the depths. So I think you win that game. Then you're on the road to NC State. I think NC State's going to be a tough game for you in Raleigh. Especially, I'm just still iffy about that secondary. I do think that you lose this game, though. Before going back on the road to play Florida State, which is going to be a tough game on its own. And I'm going to surprise you all here. I think that Miami wins a game against one of the big three, North Carolina, Clemson, or Florida State. If you've seen my Florida State preview, you know exactly where I'm going with this. While all sources look for Florida State to win this game, I think Miami pulls one of the biggest upsets of the season and beats the Seminoles in Tallahassee with Mario Cristobal, Tyler Van Dyke, all of these players, and get the biggest win. Get the biggest win of Mario Cristobal's tenure to that point. Then you play Louisville and Boston College to end the season. I think you beat Louisville. These are going to be two tough games, but I do think you beat Louisville. And that at Boston College could be a tough game, but I think you win it to finish the season 8-4. Big improvement from last year after going 5-7. Mario Cristobal finally getting the guys to buy in and everything. So I think a big improvement is coming for the Miami Hurricanes program. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoy, and Go Dogs.